Greetings, peace, beloveds. Hey, y'all. Hello, 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 hello. Why does it seem like it's so dark? Is it just me? It's like a weird little shadow effect happening, but maybe it's not in real life. Hey, boo. Hey, Reiki. Hello. I swear I'm getting like this split screen thing happening, and it's like really weird. Like it's bright halfway down, and then it's like a shadow at the top. Thank you, boo. So it's weird. It's a weird dynamic going on. Hey, Crown Queenie. Thank you. I'm just cute. Yes, you are. Hello, how are you? Peace, beloved. So I wanted to jump on here and talk about, hey, Yolanda Boo, human design, peace, 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 sugar, and natal chart, and why this is so important. And I'm trying to be a little more consistent. Y'all notice I'm doing good. Be more consistent on the healing chamber, just so I can bring the level of consciousness that I usually share with my She's Magic family on here, and you can understand why all of this works hand in hand, i.e. my She's Magic family. I've already said that I'm taking like a little sabbatical from y'all, but I want y'all to join me on this particular platform, because a lot of the information that I share on the healing chamber also works hand in hand with what we are doing from a spiritual dynamic and a spiritual walk. So it's really, really important for us to understand that this all plays and interacts together. Okay? It's all together. Yes, full moon coming. Oh, I might need to do I'll see. I might do something for the full moon. It all works hand in hand. If you are understanding the energy that you are, because this is all about energy, okay? All about energy. If we understand that we are all about energy, and we start understanding these systems from an energetic level, what you can navigate and what you can create on all aspects of your life, whether it's dealing with love, health, wealth, dynamics, any of that, on all aspects of our life, you can literally put it together. Like, you'll see where all the dots connect. You can literally manifest anything. You can manifest better health. You can manifest more money. You can manifest the soulmate that y'all be looking for. Okay? Anything that you're trying to manifest can come into existence, but it just requires you to understand that this is all in one and the same. There's no, oh, I'm eating alkaline, but I'm over here doing this foolishness. Okay? There's no, oh, I'm over here doing meditation and yoga, but I'm still eating a pork chop sandwich for breakfast. I'm just saying, hopefully ain't somebody doing it. Somebody doing it. But there's no, okay, let me do this one extreme and not do this. And starting to understand that these concepts and this ideology and these dynamics are one and the same. So when we start putting this walk all together, and we start understanding the importance of fasting, the importance of what we're feeding our body, mind, body, and soul, not just physically what we're feeding our body, also what are you feeding your mental? When you start operating in that frequency, you'll start to understand that the reason you can't get rid of your diabetes is directly correlated to some BS you doing. Okay? It's directly correlated. All right? You'll start to understand the reason that you got eczema or psoriasis is directly correlated to maybe you stress the hell out. You got some root issues that need to be worked on. So they all work hand in hand. I can sit here and give you burdock root and all of these other dynamics and be like, here goes some healing butter. and take this burdock root. But guess what? The things that's triggering that eczema and that we might be treating from the surface is going to come back. It'll either come back or it'll come back in another form. So, i.e., why we need to go back and say, why do I need to know my natal chart? Your natal chart gives you an overview. It's telling you, somebody used a really great analogy. They were like, your natal chart tells you the story. Your human design tells you the character that you play in the story. I love that analogy because the natal chart tells you the story. It's telling you like, yo, you experienced some trauma when you was born. Your mama might not have been in the right place or position mentally, emotionally, physically. So it created these dynamics that when you came into the world, now you came into the world in fight or flight. You came in ready to box, i.e., horrible immune system, i.e., jacked up root chakra. And all of these dynamics come into like fear. Listen. Okay. So now if I know, okay, because my mama might not have shared that story. She might not have shared that she was stressed out or in an emotional distress. She might not have shared that with you. Some of y'all, you might have knew. I have a story of one of my clients where her mom tried to actually kill her since birth. Okay. So you never know what the dynamics are that is surrounding your birth and how that actually affects you in the long run. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about chakras. I'm not going to always just be posting like, hey, take this maca powder if you want to get your libido up. I'm not going to always be posting about, hey, you need to take mullein leaf because you need to decongest you're going to heal your lungs. That's not what I'm always going to be about. Anybody who know me and who have been rocking with me for a minute, I'm all about holistic living. How can I show you what you need to do to heal yourself at the root so you're not consistently, I don't want you buying burdock root from me 500 times because you feel like you got to keep detoxing your system, your blood. I don't want you to do that. That's not my journey. It's not my journey. That ain't my mission. My mission is to make sure that I provide you with the information and the tools necessary to heal from the root first. And that anything else that you're buying that is a herbal supplement or a dynamic that is going to detox or maintain the system, that's all you're doing. You should only be buying a couple of them throughout the year. That's it. You should not be stuck in a wounded position, because you being stuck in that wounded position is doing a disservice to yourself and the people that are an extension of you. So my goal is to say, hey, did you know that maybe if your root chakra off, that affects your adrenals? And that's fight or flight, which stresses the whole body system. Did you know melanated people tend to come into that energy off gate? Most babies that was born between now and typically around year 2000, y'all came in on some effed up, jacked up energy. So that was sacral and root chakra. I'm just saying. So once we start to understand, okay, this is energy. So let me go deeper, because my root chakra off for a reason. Maybe it's something in my natal chart that it can help me navigate. What is my story? I obviously picked this particular journey for a reason, and it's going to tell me my story. You might not like the story it's telling. A lot of us, when we get them natal charts and that human design, you be like, oh, God. So I got to do what? Why did I pick this to master? You might not like the story it's telling, but that's not the goal. I need you to focus on the positive aspects of your chart. So if it's saying you got Pluto, and I just built with this on a client yesterday. If it says that you got Pluto in the house of finances, it's there to come and basically tear shit up. It's there to come and just tear the whole house up, because it's about destruction, but it's also about rebirth. And sometimes we forget that part. We be so focused on death and destruction instead of focusing on its rebirth. It's coming to make you be reborn in whatever that house is. So if it's the house of self, that means you got it in the first house. It's coming to make the old self consistently die. The old ideal of who you are. And now it's saying, I'm coming to birth you back new. I really want to go into a topic, but I'm not going to do it. I really want to take a sidebar on that, but I'm not. Okay, so this is an opportunity. If you have it in the first house, peace, beloved, it's going to help you understand what needs to die, especially with the ego, and what needs to be reborn. So you'll always find yourself transforming and going into this cycle of transformation. The next thing, your second house, it might be how you look at material gain, how you look at values, how are you, looking at money, your relationship with money. All of these first houses are directly correlated to what? Our root chakra. Our solar, like our sacral chakra. Solar too, because it's confidence. So when we start to pay attention to our natal chart and see what is happening, what is our story, now it gives us ammunition. Now it gives us the insight to say, hey, I always talk about my Chiron in the house of relationships. I'm going to consistently have issues or things that I need to master within my relationship. And that mastery through my relationship gives me the ability to teach others, you don't want to do that. I.e., why we have spiritually yoked. There is a dynamic that I consistently had to learn and grow through and understand and come to a higher level of consciousness within that area, so I can be able to not only master it, but be able to teach. So that's another beautiful thing about Chiron. Sometimes we are focused on the negative aspect of what Chiron is, instead of saying, but this is where I'm supposed to master and be able to share my wisdom. Okay? I'm able to share this wisdom. Okay? Thank you, boo. Wait till we start doing these conversations on there. Okay? So, understanding your story. That's your natal chart. What set the tone for why you believe what you believe. What set the tone, which is normally the first part of your chart, for why you believe what you believe. What created the foundation. Now we get into human design. Now it's telling you, well, you technically came to be a leader. You came to run shit. You came to lead, guide, and direct. You came to be the workforce or the work engine behind stuff. Not only that, your energy operates in a certain dynamic. So starting to understand that and what rhythm you should be dealing with. Okay? So that human design is getting ready to tell you how you should play your part in your story. This is the manuscript for your life. If you have that manuscript, now you can start to read it and be like, oh, now I understand. Now I see. So instead of me falling in this trap consistently, because we got Mercury retrograde about to pop out. We got a full moon and Mercury retrograde coming all at the same time. Bless it. Now that I know that Mercury is getting ready to go into retrograde. And I'm going to use this chart just for an example. Like, now I know that Mercury is getting ready to go to the retrograde in my house of relationships. Ooh, that means some exes might be popping up. Now all of a sudden I might be more susceptible to my ex that's popping up in my inbox or my text messages. And depending on other placements, that might be in alignment. It might be time for y'all to revisit that relationship. But if it's not in alignment, then you need to be knowing how to use block, delete. Okay? This is not when I want you to be healing your root or your sacral, okay? I don't want y'all healing none of that because your ex is in the DM. Don't do that. Don't set yourself up for failure. But once we start to have an understanding of what our story is. Okay, shut up, AJ. All right. Once we start to have an understanding of what our story is, now we actually have an ideal of, okay, now I know what this is about. Now I know how I'm supposed to operate. Now I know that Mars is transiting my house of career or work. So I might be a little more pop-offish. My throat chakra might be challenging me. So I might need to drink some more tea. I might need to rest. I might need to do a little more meditation that week or that month. Okay? So being very intentional, being very enlightened. How do we break curses? How do we get past patterns and routines? Because it's the knowledge of self. We have to create the awareness of what is going on. If you don't know how to read it and it's seeming like, okay, that's too much, get somebody. Pay somebody for that. Hire that out. There are plenty of astrologers. Even if it's just an overview, you can hit me up and be like, boo, I know I feel off. Can we do a consult? Can we do a 30-minute? Just so I can make sure that I'm not tripping. So we can pull your chart and say, oh, you know you got this, and this going on, boo. There's certain things, since this is the healing chamber, there's certain things that when it is transiting your 6th house, it is going to directly affect your health. When it is transiting your 1st house, this is a time frame for being aware. So if I know that I have Neptune in 18 degrees transiting the 6th house, I'm going to get, step back and be like, oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure that I'm taking my sea moss. Let me make sure that I'm doing my black seed oil. Let me make sure I'm out here meditating, yoga, stretching, whatever I need to do so nothing seems to pop up that can be triggering my health. I don't need the doctor talking about they done found no mystery nothing. Okay? No mystery nothing. Oh, sure, my mind be like 2.2 seconds. Please text me. What I forget? My mind be on short. Y'all need to start making me do stuff ASAP. All right. So natal chart. It's a story. When the planets are transiting, it's adding on to your story. Okay. So that's what you have to think of. The blueprint that comes up when you first put your date in, that's going to tell you exactly the whole mastery of everything. Okay, like boom, you came in with this on your mind. Like I came in under the sign of Libra. I'm a sun sign Leo, but I came in with a Libra ascendant. I came in to master balance. So if you have a Libra ascendant, you come in. Whatever that statement that particular sign is about, literally that's what you came to do. So Libra ascendant, I came in to be balanced. My goal was like, hey, I need to figure out how to balance my life. I want to balance self. Okay? I want a balanced self. Thank you, beloved. So with me having that mindset that I want to get in balance, in alignment with whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing. I already know my incarnation stuff, but whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing, it gives me the story that's going to be a primary focus for me. That's going to be something that is going to be on my mind. So when you know what your ascendant, the first thing you should be doing is like, hey, if I have a Leo ascendant, what does that mean? I came to be a creative expression of whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So really breaking down these houses. And I always tell students, like, break it down house by house. Don't try to digest all this information at once. It's going to have you down a rabbit hole, holding your cover, and y'all going to be crying. Don't do that. That's going to set you up for failure. I'm trying not to get y'all to the point where y'all be sitting there like, just throw the whole chart away. No, your chart is beautiful. It is intentional. It is specifically there to show you, hey, this is a little GPS map. This is telling you what it is that you need to do. So what you have to do is say, okay, I'm going to take a week and I'm going to just study the first house. So like this person that I got pulled up, they have a Leo ascendant with Venus in the first house. So I would study Leo ascendant, Venus in Leo, Venus in the first house. Study it, break it down, pull all the information, Google, YouTube University, pull all the information that you can. Even if you got astrology books, there's an ultimate guide to astrology that you can get online. Okay, so that dynamic is really important. You said if you have an ascendant in Taurus, did you come to balance health? I don't feel like that. I want you to go deeper. You know I ain't giving y'all no answer. And you're a projector. You're supposed to go deeper than that. What is Taurus about? The way to look at it, even if y'all don't feel like Googling or, getting too deep with it, think about what that particular sign is all about. If I had a Taurus ascendant, the first thing that would come to my mind, what is Taurus energy about? Money, the earthly realm. Okay? So you got to think of it from, what is that sign about? Leos are creative energy. That's the creative house. You can even look at it from the space of what, if you know anything about, and this might be a good starter thing too. If you know anything about the pie chart that you get with your natal chart, break down each house. What is the first house about? What is the second house? Because they actually have a natural zodiac sign that's over it. So how do you figure out your ascendant? It's the very first house. Whatever your first house, and what I will do, let me see. I wasn't planning on doing this, and let me see if I can not show her name. Okay. So this is a natal chart, and you can go to astro.com, and then you can push, there's a button that normally say transits. This is with the transits. So these little planets on the outside is the transits. Okay, so you would go to your first house. You see this line that goes across? It says ascendant. It's AC. So whatever your first house is sitting in, sign, this is the signs. So this will be first house. That's your ascendant, which would be Leo for this person. And they have Venus at 23 degrees. I'll try not to get y'all caught up into that. So this will tell you, like, boom, this is a simple way for you to, like, start breaking down. And what I would say is, like, study all the information. Don't worry about all these squiggly lines. Don't worry about that. That's too advanced. What you need to be worried about is this, the basics. Go to the second house. Ain't nothing in the second house. So the only thing you pulling up is what? Second house in Virgo. Okay? So that's all you would be doing. And you would just take a week or maybe a couple of days, since it ain't no planets here, and just be like, well, let me learn everything about the second house and what it represents and how it affects me. And now that it's in the sign of Virgo, how is that going to affect? How does Virgo energy affect me being in that second house? What does it make me? Do it make me stingy with my money? Is it going to make me overanalyze when I start to spend my money? Is it going to make me procrastinate on paying my bills? Like, what energy does it actually hold? Some of that ain't. I'm just throwing some shit out there. Okay? So really understanding with a chart like this, if you pull up your chart and you have like a house that looks like this where there's several planets in it, this is your major life lesson. So if y'all have a chart and you got several planets in it, that's specifically what you came to learn and focus on. This is a very important house for you. Okay? So I always tell people the major thing you want to pay attention to is your first house, wherever your north node is sitting, because it comes to bring shine and light, fame, blessings into that house. And then wherever you have multiple planets, this will be the major focus. And then I always throw your sun sign. I always throw wherever your sun sign is. You want to pay attention to that. So if you pull up transits, you see how this particular person have all these planets transiting. That means that the sixth house going to be heavily affected. Why? Because she got about 5 planets in one house. That's a really important dynamic that's happening in her life. And if you look at any of your charts, 9 times out of 10, you got several planets sitting transit in one house. So there's one area in your life that's going to feel heavier than the other. Okay? There's one area at this moment in time, because of what's going on, that's going to feel heavy. It's going to feel like, what the hell did I do? Now, if you got the right disposition, you ain't even looking at it like that. You like, okay, y'all trying to bring changes. Okay, because I already knew. Like for me, I got like hella planets in the 4th house. All right. 4th house is about my home. It's about my value system. It's about my mother. Okay. So that 4th house, with me having all these planets transiting, it's applying pressure like, oh, it's time to move. It's time to go. It's time to go do something different. It's time for a change in environment. Like, yo, it's time. We ain't doing this. Now, with me knowing that I have all of that going on, instead of me being triggered or making an impulse decision, because if I, like this energy back in the day, I would have been did some more crazy shit. I would have been popped off, number one, with everybody in my circle, because it makes you emotional with the 4th house. But I also would have already done hopped the flight. Bump all of this shit. Y'all can have this COVID shit. And I would have been somewhere gone. ASAP. All right? ASAP. Like, no, y'all, I'm good. Okay? So you got to pay attention. You might have it in a house of relationship. It's going to start making you re-identify. What do I want in a relationship? How do I want to show up in my relationships? Okay? How is it that I'm supposed to be operating? What do I really value? Do I even want to be in a relationship? Like all of these dynamics will start coming up. If it's in the first house will be like, I just want something different. I need a new beginning. This is when if y'all got all these placements in the first house, y'all probably trying to like retransform your whole self. So think about wherever is all of these placements popping off, it's a new beginning. It's transformation in whatever house is sitting in. So go through your chart, and that's a quick tip. Go through your chart. See where is it sitting in. What does that house represent specifically for you? Okay. So that way you can really say, is this something that is naturally going on for me? Or am I being triggered by these damn planets? Is these planets playing with me? Because now it keeps y'all from making, impulsive decisions. Decisions that are not right for you. Or it helps align you. Okay? It helps align you to say, this is getting ready to benefit. This is a prime opportunity for me to start a new business. This is a prime opportunity for me to move out the country. This is a prime opportunity, okay, for me to quit my job. Like there will be dynamics that are happening in your chart and you'll start to realize, oh, the stars are aligned and not on no galactic shit. The stars are aligned for me to pay more attention to my health, for me to be really serious about getting my weight under control. Okay? It helps you focus on the actual solution and the beauty of who you are instead of, like my mate just said, instead of focusing on the negative. Instead of focusing on, oh man, damn, Mercury about to go through my... Like, no. But like, oh, shoot. Mercury about to go through 7th house. I need to be reevaluating some things. I need to be revisiting some things. Okay? Peace, beloved. So it's like really understanding what are these dynamics and how is it telling your story? How is it creating the story? All right? Cancer babies, y'all emotional. Y'all natural mamas. You're natural mothers. You have a natural nurturing dynamic. Y'all wear y'all heart on y'all sleeve. My Cancer babies, y'all been going through it too. I just did this with somebody else. Y'all been going through it. Whew, y'all done had so many transformations and people leaving your life and all kind of stuff over the last couple of years. I've been feeling bad for y'all. Every time I do somebody chart with a Cancer son, I be like, ooh, you need a hug. Go find somebody to give you a hug because y'all just getting pushed in the corner and y'all coming out fighting. Like I will punch you. I will pop you in your eye. And normally y'all are so loving. Okay. So changing the perspective. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. I just want to check on somebody. Zach, did you go? Zach. Y'all know I'm homeschooling. I'm fake homeschooling. All right. So be very mindful. Okay. Be very mindful of paying attention. And like, who is this? Love Doggies. How they know that they're Libra sun with a Cancer moon. Those dynamics, even if you just know a snapshot of your chart, even if you know where your moon is sitting, so that starts to help you understand, I am going to process my emotions. I'm going to process information like this particular sign, even though I might be presenting myself as this particular sign. Okay? So really just start to pay attention. Okay? So Scorpio sun, Scorpio ascendant, accept your dark side. Hello, Kitty. Your key is going to be to accept what people consider the dark side. Scorpio energy, y'all are naturally a part of the light and the dark. I always call y'all the bridge for real. You understand why people do stuff from a very dark energy, but you also can walk in so-called love and light. Understand the balance between the two. That you embrace it. That you are supposed to embrace your shadow element of who you are. It is your power. It's part of your power. So y'all have to start in your sensual side. It could be, if whatever you consider dark for you, pay attention to whatever you're like, Because 9 times out of 10, that's what you need to embrace more and understand why is it there. Y'all have the ability to communicate with the other world too. I ain't going to get it all the way into that because I don't know if this platform ready for that. Okay. So natal charts tell you the story. If you know what's transiting and when it's transiting, it helps you start to like work with. Because it ain't for everybody. This information ain't for everybody. It's only certain people that's going to be able, you found me or gravitated to this particular live so you can be aware of, hey, there's an instruction manual. Ain't nobody tell me this. Yeah, it's an instruction manual. If you have the directions on how to navigate this avatar, guess what? You are able to do more things. You're able to not be frustrated, not be stressed. You're able to say, hey, I can navigate my life better because now I got the instruction manuals. Don't things work better? Don't things seem to operate better? Don't they last longer? Because now you know the blueprint. Now you know how to put it together. Now you know how to operate better. And a lot of y'all probably like our generation before us or my generation. We don't like reading no damn instructions. You just want to put it together. You just out here freestyling. Be like, oh, I don't know why we missing screws. But I got it. It looked like the picture. No, it's beyond that. You needed them screws. Okay, so I'm going to need y'all quit navigating. Talking about, you need it. It's a whole leg not on the table. Okay? It's a whole leg not on the table. I'm going to need you to know why that leg is there. All right? So we need to be in a space that we start paying attention. Hey, I got a story. I came in under this sign because when I transitioned, I didn't feel like I had enough balance. So my life purpose, one of my main life purpose was that I wanted to know how to balance, how to be a mother, how to balance, how to be a wife, how to balance the things that are needed from me from a feminine dynamic, but also the things that I came to do, which was to be of service to the tribe, to be of service to the community. So how do I balance that and master it? So I still am not only pouring love into that, pouring love into the community, but also pouring love into myself, knowing when it's time to say, oh, you know what? I need a break. I need a vacation. Okay? So knowing, okay, what that meant for me was really important. That was a damn major key for me. Still trying to master that. Still. Okay? I love you too. All right. So now when we get into the human design chart, and I'm going to use this particular person as well. I don't know who chart this is, but hopefully you don't mind me using. I should have used mine. Maybe I'll use mine. Hold on. Let me go in and see if it'll let me pull up mine. Okay. We'll use mine. That way. Let's see if I got other people that I can use. We can use that one. That ain't a real chart. All right, so we'll use mine. This is my human design. All right. So with human design, it's really important for you to, look at this. Sometimes I'll send this. I don't even send these out no more. And y'all don't have to really learn. Y'all can really, like I said, pay somebody to give you the snapshot of how you need to, use this information to navigate your life better and be more in alignment. I personally feel like, you should learn it eventually, even if you pay somebody like me or a Sia, or it's so many people. If y'all come to us and say, hey, can you help me navigate this? At least still after we help you navigate it, try to understand it on your own as well. Okay. So when we go into this, and I'm a projector. And what that means is that I don't have a defined sacral. So anyone who has this white means that you are a non-energy type. Everybody who has this defined, it would look like this. Means that you are an energy type. So for a non-energy type, this would be our reflectors, our manifestors, and our projectors, which that is what I am. I am a splenic projector, and that's because I have a defined spleen. Okay. So a lot of my stuff is going to be dealing with intuition, instincts. All right. I'm guided by my intuition. That's that I know that I know that I know dynamic that probably get on AJ nerves. But everything that I am operating off of is intuition. All right. When you have these spaces open, it makes it where you're inconsistent. My knowing will always be consistent. My intuition will always be consistent. What will be inconsistent is my energy. What will be inconsistent is the need to do stuff. You see that strive, ambition, stress. I might be more stressed than other times just because of picking up on other people's energy, emotions. Somebody like AJ has a defined emotional center, and I'll sit there and pull all his emotion. We could be having a conversation, and he literally probably be on a 2 in the conversation, but by the time I done sat there with him for 15 minutes, I'm on a 20. He's still talking to me on his 2 level. I'm on a 20, and I'm going to like push that energy back to him. Okay? So when you have open centers, you typically take on the energy of whoever you're around. But the reason is for this is for you to master and understand. So when these are open, okay, any of my people who have any spaces that are open, where I get concerned from a health perspective is that these will get overworked. So for women who have non-energy, who have these open, what ends up typically happening with you is that if you're around someone who has this defined, it will start creating issues dealing with your fertility, dealing with your reproductive system, dealing with your energy, your vitality. You might have a loss of libido. Okay? You got to pay attention to what is going on with this in your chart. All right? When this is doing what it's doing, like I said, that's adrenal. So you can be overly stressing yourself out. You might be taking on the stress trying to operate in somebody else's frequency. You trying to get stuff done, and that ain't what you're supposed to be doing. So for somebody like me that is a projector, I could be sitting there taking on the pressure of somebody else and not operating in my own intuitive sense of when it's time for me to do stuff and how I should be doing it. I could be letting somebody push me into like completing tasks or doing things in an energy that's not for me, which is going to stress me out. You know what happened with people who stressed out? Your whole system start breaking down. Okay? Yeah, Steph be out on it. I love her. That's my boo. All right. Emotional. Same dynamic. And like if you pull this up in the Steph, did you put this website? Yeah, you got My Body Graph. If you pull this up in My Body Graph, what I love about this, it'll let you hover over it and it'll break down the information. It's going to tell you exactly what center it is, what it stands for, what happens when, and I used to do this all the time, avoid confrontation. My throat chakra started acting up when I started doing that though. Okay. It'll tell you what question you should ask. Am I avoiding confrontation? Am I avoiding the truth? Because I don't want to know. How is that affecting me? These are the things it's connected to. So now that we start understanding, boom, boom, it's got all of these. Now we start to get an ideal of what's going on with us. Because once again, what does this tell us? The character that we play in our story. Natal chart gives us the story. This tells us the character that we play in the story. So when this is open, I can be either, like, we're going to use the emotional center since I love picking on that and me and AJ dynamic. I can either be one extreme where I'm super hypersensitive and emotional, or I can be very splenic and be on some, I don't give a, I ain't going to say that's the energy that we carry, but we'll process information from logic more so than emotion. So it's about checking in. And what creates a better balance with this is saying, hey, how am I learning about other people's emotions? What am I mastering because I have this open when it comes to emotions? And how does it affect the character that I'm playing? All right. So when y'all start to study this, a quick way, that's a quick tip. When you study it and now you know, okay, boom, I'm whatever type you are. And now I know that my strategy, so it got these little breakdowns. Let me move this candle out of the way. It's got these little breakdowns over here on the side. And it'll tell you like, hey, you're a projector with a splenic authority. Your strategy is to wait for the invitation. Your inner authority is the spleen. So these two dynamics, your authority and your strategy, is how you should be operating your life. I know that I'm a projector. That means that I should not be out here doing no generator shit. I should not be out here talking about hustle till I live. Like hustle how I get it. Hustle till I die. None of that. That ain't my story. That's somebody else's story. All right? What I should be doing is waiting for the invitation. What I should be doing is what I'm doing now. Share information and then allow one of you to invite me in to share information with you to help you navigate your story. Okay? To help you understand the character that you play. So that is my job. Specifically, it's my job because I have this. The channel of abstraction. Okay? So me having that channel, it pretty much tells me, hey, these downloads are going to come in and you're going to get these information and boom, your third eye going to process it. Okay? It's going to give you the answer. It's going to give you the solution. And now, boom, it's going to go straight to the throat. And now you're going to share what it is that you know. Channel of structuring. You see where it say genius to freak? That means that I could share this information and you can take it and feel like, ooh. Or I could share this information and be like, that broad crazy. Okay? I might be before my time. The key with this is intuitively knowing when is my time to share the information. See, that's communication. How am I taking these downloads and this information, processing it to get the answer and the solutions for y'all so I can share it with the collective? The website is My Body Graph, beloved. Okay. So the key for us, all my projectors, is pretty much wait for the invitation unless you are self-projected. Okay. Wait for the invitation. Listen to your, whatever your authority is. For me, it's the spleen. For some of y'all, it could be, you could be an emotion. My son, my baby boy, is an emotional projector. He only have these three defined. Okay? So I hope that helped somebody. Now, let me go back to the tip. What I would do if I were you, number one, if this was your chart, I would study everything that's defined. And what does that mean for me? What does it mean to have this defined center? Because that means that you have a fixed way of doing things in this particular center. So I would study that. Second thing I would study, what does it mean for me to have open centers? All of these open centers, what does it mean? How does this affect me? What am I doing? How does it specifically affect my health? I.e., like why I'm telling y'all women, if you have this open, you need to pay attention. Because 9 times out of 10, you consistently taking on energy in this area. And if you're having any type of fertility or reproductive issue, This is why. These two especially. This is why. All right. If you are a person who seems to, your emotions go from 0 to 100 like me, this is why. Well, defined centers do too. Because if they're defined and they're led with emotions, they go from 0 to 100. But ours is different. We be taking on way too much. But we have an ability to, well, I do. I have the ability to tap in and be like, you know what? That ain't my shit. I done took on, that wasn't even mine. Okay? This make us super empathic, I feel. Okay? So study what's defined and then study what's open and how does that affect you. The next thing you want to do is, you see where it's dark at and they're like, some of the numbers are darker. So I'm trying to get it clearer. Okay, there we go. Where some of these numbers are darker, that means that's what gates are activated. So you will want to click on, like this actually has a channel. And so when I click on the channel, it tells you exactly what it is. Channel of structuring. So you could put that in YouTube University, into the web, Google, whatever. It's a lot of people that's teaching on this right now. This is a gate. So I would study what channels are activated for you. So for me, I have 3 channels activated. So I would tell, if this was, a customer, I would tell you to study these. I would tell you what it is anyway, but I would say study these. And then my other thing would be study the gates. Because you can just put in gate 23, human design, on whatever. And it's going to tell you exactly what that gate represents. That's really telling you the character that you're supposed to play. Once you start understanding, the main part is knowing what type of energy type you are and what's your authority. And then what is your strategy? That's the main part. If you just know this part and put that with your natal chart, you own something different than everybody else, okay? Let's pull up somebody. Let's see. So this particular person is a generator and they have sacral authority. So you see how all of this is open for them? But then they have these defined and then they have this open. So this person will end up getting hijacked by people like me all the time. Okay? This person will get hijacked, like they'll come around me and they probably wanted to talk about something totally different. And then they'll end up getting pulled and dragged into a conversation with me. And doing something I want them to do or talk about. They came to talk to me about why the sky blue, and they end up talking about crystals and their healing effects. All right. So they would get hijacked. All right. Another thing about open crown and third eye is this is a pressure center. So with this being open, I see a lot of people who end up can be susceptible to having a stroke. They can be susceptible to having depression because this is open. So it's allowing any and everything to come in. All the frequencies are just coming in and out. So when it's coming in, you have to be very mindful. Is this thought mine or is this something else? Okay. Is this thought mine or is this somebody else? No, this ain't AJ chart. He got a defined throat. No, he don't. He got an undefined throat. He has an emotional center, child. AJ got all kind of tribe. All of this defined on AJ. All of this. All right. So this, if you have an open crown, you're a person that definitely need more list or have to have more structure. So you don't forget to complete tasks. But you also got to be in a space where you say, is this mine or is this somebody else? Like, is this ideal mine or is this somebody else? Like, you always got to just kind of check in. You see where it says the not self question is, am I trying to answer everybody else's question? All right. Am I trying to convince everyone else that I'm certain? That open third eye is like a tendency to pretend that you know something, but you're not. You don't know. So just be okay. Okay. You were saying do his chart. I don't feel like typing his stuff. I ain't got his chart saved in here. I got all our charts saved in another program. So the strategy is to respond. All right. So I'm going to turn this back around real quick. The strategy is to respond. And what that typically does is, like, a lot of people have the strategy of responding. What that typically does for a lot of people is you're supposed to wait. Okay? You're supposed to wait. You're not supposed to be out here with this typical, oh, I got to go chase it. No, you're supposed to allow certain information or certain questions or certain opportunities to present themselves. And then you show up with hey, I know how to do that. I got a solution for that. This is my expertise. So, for example, and I used this yesterday, let's say that all your friends is asking you to do hair. They like, hey, can you braid my hair? Can I come to your house so you can braid my hair? Okay. Your response should be, oh, I need to open up a salon. I need to open up a braid shop. I need to start a business with this because I'm responding to okay, boom, there's something that's being asked of me. Everybody coming to you because they want you to cook them a cake. Oh, I know, I might need to start a cake business. This is an opportunity. And 9 times out of 10, it be y'all who, especially my manifesting generators, y'all be sitting on a whole website, already done thought about what you want to respond to, but you haven't pulled the trigger. And it might just be because somebody ain't asked you the right question in order to pull you in that energy. So once again, what is the character you're playing? Make sure that what you are doing is in alignment with the character that you're supposed to be playing. I might do more of these like human design and natal chart videos because it's so much deeper and there's so much stuff that you got to get into. Okay. So much stuff. I.e. why I wanted, to take my first group of women that's off of She Is Mad People, because we got men in the group too. My first group, and really just map out this whole program with them. But I might start doing a little bit where it can at least give y'all some foundation to start working with and making this seem not so overwhelming. Okay. Yeah, we can do ours on Spiritually Yoga. I definitely want to start doing partnership charts. There's one other thing that I want to just, for you who already have your charts, paying attention to how the mind and the ego feel like it needs to navigate this particular life, and paying attention to how your design is like navigating. A lot of times, we're navigating from what our personality or our ego or our conditioned self feels that it's supposed to be. So you'll be the type of person that you working a job just to work a job. Ooh, prime example. I was operating as a generator, manifesting generator, honestly. I was operating as a manifesting generator. I always save my lives, beloved. I was operating as a manifesting generator my whole life. Going 100 miles an hour and not really understanding that I was overextending myself, that I actually was burning myself out until I got to the point where I literally was about burnt out. Okay. Because I started breaking certain stuff down and going into a different journey, into a different path in my life. That's how I came across human design. That's how I started getting more into my natal chart. Game changer. Once I started realizing, oh, hell, who life I've been living. When I started paying attention to that, I started realizing, oh, now it makes sense. That's why I be so triggered. That's why my kids be getting on my damn nerves. No, I'm just playing. That's why my relationships be all over the goddamn place. Okay? It was literally my personality, my ego, my consciousness. She's like wanting to live this super divine, feminine, nurturing, extra over the top, super mom life. But my design was like, no, let's go get to the money. I need to be traveling. I'm trying to jet set. What you doing? My design was trying to do something totally different. Why you ain't figured out how to balance this energy? I.e. my incarnation objective from a spiritual perspective, that's a whole nother lie. But my incarnation objective was the dynamics of the nurturer and the businesswoman. Okay? So that was an interesting revelation that I already knew what my incarnation objective was. But when I started getting these charts, all of that shit started being like, ooh, so really? That's what we doing? Okay? You start to understand, hey, this is my story. This is the character I'm supposed to play. How do I master my role? How do I use this information to help me master who I was designed to be? Now I can start eliminating the fact that I got high blood pressure. Now I can start eliminating the fact that I got kidney disease. Now I can start eliminating the fact that my cholesterol high. Okay? Now you can start eliminating depression, anxiety. Now you can start eliminating poor mindset, broke mentality, generational curses. Now I can start eliminating, and it goes on and on and on. Anytime you're doing things that are saying, this is not myself, now we can start actually operating. Yes, human design and natal charts. I am Katis. I hope I'm saying this right. You said your not self theme is frustration. Does that mean when I'm frustrated, I'm not myself? Absolutely. Anytime you're frustrated or anytime you're angry, it's because you're not operating in your design. That means that you have allowed something that you already knew wasn't in alignment with you and you didn't listen. Especially if you have like a sacral or a solar authority. Y'all be the main ones that be like, boom, your authority told you don't do that shit, and you still did it, and then later on you frustrated because you knew it wasn't in alignment. But prime example, take a job and the job ain't in alignment with you. You knew you wasn't supposed to take the job, and now you frustrated because you working this stupid job that you ain't even want in the first place. Okay? You ain't want it. You knew you shouldn't have took that job. But you take it, and now you frustrated. Okay? Now you frustrated. That means that shit ain't in alignment. Y'all got to take more time to sit in. Whatever your authority is, you need to take more time to check in. Is this what I need to do? Okay. Somebody I guess is asking about doing charts. You can go to my She Is Magic. I will put it on the Healing Chamber. I'm gonna actually do it today. But right now for natal and human design charts, you can go to sheismagic.com and book a session with me via there. If you go into consultations, you drop down, and the menu, once you drop it down, it will tell you natal and human design consult. This is the last couple of days that it's at the price that it's going to be at. So if you are trying to get one and you on a budget, this is probably the time you want to do it, because it's going to be more than that. Just because it takes me longer than I be anticipating. And I want to make sure that y'all get it. All videos are recorded, and I normally send it to your email for you to go back and listen to and go over. It is a overview, so no, I'm not going to sit with you and break down each one of these gates, but I will tell you what your incarnation is, how you should be using your strategy, how you should be moving through, your story, and what your story is about and what's going on. All right. I will add it to the this evening, though. Thank you. Yes, she is magic. They got it. I'll put it on the healing chamber tonight. Actually, right now, I'll put it on the healing chamber as well for consultations. For generators, the theme is to respond. So if you're not responding to situations, it will often result in frustration. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for sharing that. Generators and manifesting generators. When y'all ain't responding, y'all gonna be jacked up in the game. Y'all be sitting on information. Y'all just be sitting on stuff. Get on my nerves. I meet the most manifesting generators that be sitting on like information on information on information. The most. The most. All right. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to hop off. That was an hour. I did good. I did good. You ordered your consultation. Thank you, beloved. I am, FYI, and I'm still going to see, I am thinking, because there's enough people on the waiting list, I am thinking about starting a second group for Journey to Self, but it will not be until, I want to say June, July, before I start that group. So if you are interested on doing the Journey to Self, make sure you inbox me. It's already a lot of people that's on the waiting list for that. But if you are interested, this is the type of stuff that we will learn, but we go into more detail as far as how now that you can use this information to truly map out how you should even recondition your mind, how you should, master your emotions, how you should even be eating for your design, and what type of diet plan should be incorporated on a regular basis. What type of herbs and elements should you have? What type of environment should you cultivate in order for you to be successful? What do you need to cultivate for your whole family? We get into all of that on Journey to Self mentoring. And then we get into a whole lot of other stuff that I ain't wanting to share on here. But if you are interested in joining the second list, then just let me know, inbox me, and then I'll make sure I add you. I only take a certain amount of people at a time, so it's probably going to be about 20 for that next group. And I still need to check to see how many is on there. But that 20 will be the only amount of people that I'll take at one time, because I like to make sure that y'all get it. I don't like to overwhelm myself. And I'm a projector. Didn't I just tell y'all? I'm a 9 energy type. Y'all ain't going to wear me out. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace.